Fana. So we're really excited about that. But I wanted to start with Chelsea. Chelsea, who said they were not looking for a new goalkeeper, have today put a 20 million euro bid in for Philippe. I think it's pronounced, I can't remember now. I did it earlier, but Philippe Jorgensen.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's his name. I want to play you a clip first, though. This is from a number of huge Chelsea content creators on this potential signing. Let's take a little listen to what they said.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I see his name was mentioned here, Petter Veland, who I do a podcast with here in Norway. He is a Villarreal fan, and he hates his guts. And I mean, hates him. Like, absolutely despises him. And as for the better part of the season, basically stated that how on earth haven't Villarreal signed a goalkeeper? Like, how is he still the first choice? And to his credit, he's somewhat of a good shot stopper, and you alluded to it a little bit earlier as I was listening here that he's quite good in terms of saving shots, but that's because he gets such a high volume shots taken at him. I mean, he has to save some shots, but there's some of these howlers that he has and decisions he has on ball and how his spaghetti wrist doesn't do him any justice. I mean, he just doesn't seem to be an amazing goalkeeper in any way, shape, or form. So whenever I see him linked with big clubs, I'm just perplexed because I really question my own judgment in football once I watch him, because I'm like, what is it that me and several other people aren't seeing with this guy? And I mean, I watched football for you. You're speaking about watching football for decades. I mean, I'm 32 years old. I've never been more perplexed over a link than I have been about Philip Jorgensen being linked with all these Premier League clubs. And
on top of that, Simon Phillips, one of the biggest names in sort of the Chelsea fan space, has basically referred to him as Kepa 2.0. It's 20 million euros, so it's a significant amount of money for a goalkeeper. Villarreal fans are celebrating because they think he's awful. What are Chelsea doing, Hassam?
You know, it's funny because I know KJ is somewhere in the background waiting to clip this up, so we're going to give him another clip. I mean, Chelsea are just doing the same dumb shit that Chelsea have been doing for the last 2 years. Ain't shit changed, to be honest with you. It's the same stuff. You know, the only signing I really gave them credit for this summer is probably Tosin, because I think that's a good signing. But, I mean, to be fair, they haven't really gotten a goalkeeper signing correct yet. You know, you have the likes of Sanchez. They signed that hashtag United goalkeeper as well. They have this guy now ready to sign. And it's funny because the reports coming out of Chelsea to begin with the goalkeeper situation is very conflicting, because when Maresca first came in, I think like 2-3 days after that, they were like, oh, we're really happy with Sanchez. We think Sanchez is going to be the goalkeeper, you know, for Enzo Maresca. And that in itself kind of worried the Chelsea fans a little bit when it comes to that conversation. So, you know, it's just very, very strange, to be honest with you. And people might say, you know what, it's 20 million euros, it's not that deep, but it is deep, given the PSR rules, given the FFP rules. And actually, given where Chelsea are right now, that is very deep. Because this season, they need to get top 4. They need to, you know, kind of get to that level, or else they're in massive trouble. And I think there needs to be an element of balance. And this is where I hate it, when sometimes managers are over stubborn and they just want to do like this specific thing. And I'll use Man City as an example. Pep Guardiola wants a ball-playing goalkeeper. He got Claudio Bravo. Claudio Bravo was crap. And a summer later, he bought Ederson. Are Chelsea in that position where if this Jorgensen guy flops, are they going to go get another goalkeeper that's quote-unquote ball-playing? Because I feel like you need a bit of balance, because if a goalkeeper is a ball-playing goalkeeper, why not just use Kepa? Because I don't think anyone, and I know probably Terry and Mo feel the same way, I don't think anyone will deny that Kepa is good with his feet. Like, Kepa is a good goalkeeper with his feet anyway. The problem is with him is actually shot stopping. So might as well just keep Kepa, you know, rather than spending 20 million on a goalkeeper like this. So listen, this guy doesn't take Chelsea anywhere, but to be fair, they are in the Conference League, so this is their level.
You know, this is another. It's a part of the Giwi, Yu, Momo, Lulu signings. The amount of here we goes we've heard for Chelsea this summer is absolutely fantastic. guys, it's just if you're a Chelsea fan, you got Tosin and you got Dewsbury Hall, yes, but the amount of the amount of negotiations these Chelsea must have an army of negotiators behind. Like that, come on, what is happening? What is going on? Do you want to improve on Sancho and Petrovic? You're getting with all due respect. I have read, by the way, I've seen the clip that Terry, I've seen part of it, I haven't seen it all of it. But if everyone is saying to you that the goalkeeper is not good, and of course, but you guys you're just content creators. We have better people behind the screens. You do the research. You don't know that. You know more than a manager, bro. Your manager himself said Sanchez is okay. Sanchez is not okay. Oh, Petrovic last season looked very good, and then he looked not good because of a training session. If you want to improve on the goalkeeper, Liverpool signed Alisson. Manchester City signed Ederson. Arsenal went and got David Raya. Clear identity of what the manager wants. This guy doesn't excel in anything. His name is not there. It's a lot of just, we're getting a second goalkeeper. Is Sanchez good enough now? But Petrovic is there. Why you're spending the money in this? I thought Chelsea are going into the right direction. And then every time I say that, I hear we go about someone that is a go-go or a wee-wee or whatever thing. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't know what is happening at Chelsea. I thought they're going in the right direction again. But come on, what is this? What is happening? Who's this guy?
By the way, just for reference,
Villarreal fans are saying no, bro.
Go-go and wee-wee basically means people that no one has ever heard of signing for Chelsea. And to be fair, they signed a manager that no one's ever heard of. So, they're just kind of moving in the same direction for the players anyway. To be honest with you, listen.
Big up Lewis, bro. Big up yourself, my brother.
I called out Lewis last week because of his whole bun, the last two managers, but he gave us the sentence, Mo. I went and
do you know what though? Do you know what I liked Lewis on socials the last few days. I'm not going to go into it again on the terrace, but the way he's been calling the BS when it comes to the Enzo Fernandez stuff and the sort of potential problems internally. Big up yourself, because it's hard to do that sometimes when there's a percentage of your fan base that are sort of gunning for anybody that talks about it. So big up yourself for having a proper backbone in relation to that, mate. I knew you would have, but I just wanted to shout it out 110% for that, mate, because a lot of people are shying away from the conversation. In fact, I've got friends that are Chelsea fans like, Terry, like, why do you talk about it on your platform? Because it's a massive talking point and must be discussed. Like, legit, they give me shit for it. But I'm like, we're not going to stop talking about it. So big up yourself, bro. But look, I didn't know anything about this goalkeeper, so I didn't judge it. I did a little bit of research and I read some okay things, if I'm being honest. But obviously I never watched him play. And then you start looking at more and more of what people have said. Then I started looking at sort of Villarreal fan pages today off the back of seeing this clip. And I genuinely couldn't believe what I was reading. And I think people are saying, Terry, they can make a profit on him, flip him. He's 22. What profit are you making? You spend 20 million euros on him and pay his salary for 2 years. You're not making a profit on that sale because he isn't an academy player. It's what you might get your money back. But what's the point of doing that? It makes no sense to me, this deal. They must have, Chelsea, an academy player who is as good as him. I've then gone after. I did a video this morning about it briefly. I've maybe done about 2 hours just watching bits, reading bits today in preparation for this show. And I don't normally do this, but I will on this occasion. Of what I've seen and what I've read, Chelsea have better academy goalkeepers than this Philippe Jorgensen, however you pronounce it. They have better academy players. Why waste 20 million euros of the club's money? Why waste it? Why take any energy up? Because you've got Tosin and you've got Dewsbury Hall, and I'll stand by it. I think they're really good pieces of business. I'm seeing, they're still linked to Eucharist.
By the way, Terry, Mo mentioned that Petrovic, he's still there. It's not like he's gone.
Why?
Yeah.
Petrovic's not bad.
Petrovic and Sanchez are better than this guy. You don't need to drop 20 million euros on him. Listen, Kasper Schmeichel has just gone to, I think, Celtic. I bet you could have got Kasper Schmeichel cheaper and he'd actually be your best goalkeeper. It makes zero sense to make this, and it's true. So
and he's good with his feet as well. So if you want that element,
So I always look
why
at it.
Chelsea? I don't get it.
And
Chelsea, just stupid.
I just wanted to say, Tosin and Dewsbury Hall, good business. They're linked still to Yulkodes. They're linked still to today. They're linked to Nico Williams still, and maybe doing what PSG have done by going in. There's a number of really good players they're linked to, and I think put some damn bids in for these players. Continue to improve your spine and drop this 50. Look at Amari Kellerman. They gaslit their fans via the media into this young superstar. We're bringing him in. He's going to be part of us. He's not even on the tour. He's not even on the. There's holes in that tour squad, like all of our clubs, because of players that went deep into international tournaments. He hasn't even gone.
And the tours is usually where you see the most youngsters anyway as well.
It's crazy to me. It's genuinely crazy to me that they are. It's just a waste. This signing, if it comes off, is an absolute waste of money. It's an absolute waste of money. And with a club, whether Chelsea fans like hearing this or not, you are sailing close to the FFP and close to the PSR Sun. You're very close to it. This is 20 million euros plus salary, plus agent fees that you do not need to spend. They really don't.
Mo, what do you want to say?
No, bro, every time I try to back this club, bro, every time I sit on a show, bro, I just try to back this club, bro. Yesterday, every time I sit on a show and say they are doing the right things, and I praise the Dewsbury Hall, as Terry said, and the Tosin, and I said the links with Oli, say, yes, you missed on him, move on to the next target and all the stuff, and you are moving into the right direction. You're trying to get a striker. There was the links with Ivan Toney. Now there's the links with Nico Williams. And then that comes in, we want to improve the goalkeeper. And then you're linked to this guy. Are you want to improve in the goalkeeper? You're just spending 20 million euros. You're like, what is happening at Chelsea Football Club? I believe Maresca spoke okay in some aspects.
On a random guy, though, Mo. No one's heard of as well.
Yes, which is another thing. And bro, Chelsea... I hope that Chelsea gets some signings better than this guy. I hope that Chelsea gets some good signings in, because I want Chelsea to do well. I know you don't, just to be right.
You need to understand something. If Chelsea do well, it's very bad for me next season. It's way worse than it is for me than it is for you.
Which is
an ongoing rivalry with that.
I would love it, bro. I would love it.
I cannot stand what I say on the football club.
I would love it if Chelsea do well.
Listen, I have not been negative about all areas. A few people in the comment section are saying that Kellerman's injured. That's why he's not there. He may be. But I've just got a gut feeling that you're never going to see this guy play or barely see him play. I don't believe this is a signing that your club has genuinely looked at and gone, this is a man to bring Chelsea forward. I believe those deals were done as a way of helping each other, you and the Villas and other clubs, avoid PSR. Yeah, he might have a little knock. He might have an injury and he might be out. Fair enough. But I'll be honest with you, I don't believe it. It's a lot like a lot of the youngsters last year. There's quite a few of them that Chelsea fans were absolutely buzzing about. They're now on the board. They're now on the chopping block to be sold this year, a year later, after barely getting a chance. Most of these youngsters you're signing are not there for Chelsea's future. They're there for the club to try and flip. Where I get it with Kellyman, where I get it with some of the players you're bringing in at 18, the young guys, is you're probably, if you actually look at the way they're being registered, they're probably coming in and being squeezed in as academy products so that they can be sold for 100% profit. Doing it with this goalkeeper who's 22, you're never going to be able to watch. That's never going to be able to wash. As I say, he may have an injury. That may be true. But I still have the same gut feeling that the way Chelsea sell these young player purchases like they're huge signings and they're going to be a big part of the club's future, I think it's wrong. I think they're I genuinely believe they're misleading. And
you said it yourself, he's only 22.
Yeah, and before anybody says...
So by the time he improves, he's going to be 26, 27 anyway.
Yeah, and before anybody says Terry would be negative about everything about Chelsea, I'm not. I've praised Dewsbury Hall. I praised the Tosin deals. When I've seen you linked to the Yulkodeses and the Williamses, I spoke glowingly about how good a signings they would be and how much they could improve your team. I also think you're in the race for a top 4 position next season if the manager is as good as he is framed to be. So I'm not being negative about every facet of Chelsea. I'm just looking at this. The amount of young players you're signing, they gaslit their fans into thinking they are genuine superstar youngsters that are going to be a huge part of this club, your club's future. I don't believe them. I believe it's a money-making scheme on those young players. I don't think it's right. And this goalkeeper is an absolute abomination of a deal. But there we go. I think it's crazy, personally. No, you're laughing. I think Chelsea can make the top 4. And Chelsea Reaper, who's normally quite negative, I have praised Chelsea. I do think you can make the top 4 next year. But we're talking about a deal in isolation. You know, if Man United go and drop £30 million tomorrow on an absolutely awful player, although I've been happy with other things, I'll criticise that signing. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for me.